Welcome everybody, and I'm really happy to see all of you here in the full house in Berlin. So no spots are available anymore. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk about the latest technological innovations and developments. Oh, here we go in the messaging landscape. So a mouthful again, and I'm happy to have my my fellow panelists here sitting next to me. I'm very honored to have them. And Igor, if I may give you the word for a quick introduction, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Igor Skutsinya, Senior Business Development Manager for Lanck Telecom and RCS Team Leader.
Okay, thank you so much. Fabrizio.
And I'm Fabrizio, CEO of Horisen. We are a platform vendor for any kind of messaging channels.
Okay, so thank you so much. Unfortunately, Ilya couldn't make it, but let's just bump in and move on. Latest technological innovations. Is it needed? Why is it needed? And Fabrizio, if I may start with you. While the messaging environment is constantly changing, what technological innovations do we see and what challenges does it accompany? Mouthful. So what's going on?
Well, a lot. So we have, let's say, tendency that the fraud is getting bigger and bigger, so that's the bad side. On the good side, we have a lot of other developments like other channels, which hopefully our industry will enable, to discover and to conquer new revenue streams. And but I just hope, that that SMS will be not completely destroyed with the negative tendency, what right now is very, very strong in the market visible.
Okay, a lot of points. We'll go into them. Igor?
I would say that one of the major things that are going on right now is usage of AI. So using of AI in your anti-fraud things, make sure that you have to you have the technology to actually counter complex fraud cases, complex fraud scenarios within milliseconds or even instantly, instead of relying on manual things. And it's not only about the detection. Also, your measures can be a little more complex than just blocking A and B numbers. And we are advocating for using of AI in those practices, and we do that ourselves. And also, obviously, to develop your CPaaS platforms. Make it agile, make it as user-friendly as possible, make it as versatile as possible. So if there are any communication channels that are required by your enterprise clients and your partners, please add them.
Okay, so a mouthful. All the beautiful words you just mentioned. And let me throw this curveball and be a bit disruptive here. All nice. We all hear this. Yeah, we need that, we need that, we need that. Now, we have somebody here with us who builds those platforms. You just mentioned it, you have it built in, and these features we need, and these features we need. So, want to challenge you, if it's even possible, Fabrizio. But what do you develop and to support actually your customers on the platform side?
Okay, we have a different kind of platforms. I think SMS, we know all about what is needed. A little bit less is the know-how regarding the new channels. I always describe it like that. SMS is kind of black and white TV, but the new channels, which supports rich media like video, pictures, and so on, is like color TV.
I come from the black and white TV, yeah. So
you're still. You're more for the transistor radio time, not even a visual.
Even earlier.
What we developed there is to anticipate what the market could need, so that they can even work with something like that, not just throwing away buzzwords and we can do this, we can do that. No, to have a practical user interface where hands-on people can work on that, create campaigns, see how they can interact with the audience, maybe how they can shift from one channel to another. So let's say, how can I attract from a pull media like social media, Instagram, I can see the advertisement only if I'm right now logged in, into a push media, let's say WhatsApp, SMS, or whatever. So how you build use cases that you get more in control out of the social media into a push media. This is, for instance, something what we are developing and how we are helping our clients. On the other hand, we give them tools in their hand, which they can really go from the bakery next door until to big brands, Fortune 500 brands, to sell them their services.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what are the main questions that on the other side your clients come with? Do you have any, let's say, use case or?
Look, the most brands out there, now just forget it that we are in this industry. The others outside of this industry, they don't know so much about this. We think, wow, the whole world is just jumping on it. It's not the case. If you see where the budgets are going, marketing budgets, it's still social media, Instagram, Facebook, Google, they are really, getting with a strong gravitation the marketing budgets. And we have to try how we get into that, how we can get part of this budget for the new channels, what we can promote. So there is a lot of missionary job to do, to explain, how marketeers can use those channels, how they can profit, how they can be less dependent from, let's say, social media channels, but also how they can get a new income using the new channels.
Because, to be honest with you, but I don't know, let's keep it, I don't think we know nothing about marketing, enterprise marketing, and so on. Is there not a lot of things for us actually to do, to educate or to get educated, to understand it, and to get to those revenue streams?
Absolutely. You look, selling an SMS is a transaction. If you talk with marketeers, they are not in transaction business, they are in conversion business. They measure the things completely different. For them, the price per SMS is not that relevant like for us. For sure it counts. It makes a difference if it costs 5 cents or 20 cents, absolutely. But at the end, they want to sell, I don't know, shoes, T-shirts, whatever, and whatever channels can trigger a purchase, or they want a brand, So how you measure then the cost of the budget for branding, for selling images. We have to learn a lot in this industry because we are really shifting from being telecoms to technocoms, and this is not the same. That's absolutely a different world.
Okay, Igor? Sorry. Okay, let's get Ilya here. Hi, Ilya. Can you hear us?
Hello? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so we already started off, Ilya, with your permissions. Maybe you can quickly introduce yourself and say something about your company, please.
Okay, so Afina is the connector between the telecom operators and the advertisers that gives you an opportunity to add additional monetization to your existing for your existing traffic in for the operators, and have a pretty broad-wide list of customers for the advertisers. We're doing machine learning pattern extraction to find significant intents in the telecom operators' traffic, and then utilize these patterns to find the most relevant ads for the customers of the telecom operator.
Okay, thank you, Ilya. So let me ask you the question which I asked the guys as well. Talking about the latest developments in in the technological space, what kind of major constraints do you see? What are the questions you get from your clients?
So I guess the global trend that our clients highlight is that they want to monetize their traffic better, so they want to increase their costs. I am not sure if this is a real constraint. It's just a common trait of each business. It looks like the most of telecom operators are pretty worried about the data that they have and sharing this data. So we lack instruments for kind of complex analytics that would let telecom operators to share this data, but not to lose it, not to open personal data information, not to send their database and important information to anyone else. Yeah. So to my point of view, we lack technological platforms that would let, for instance, to run different machine learning models in existing controllable space that will give opportunities both the advertisers and the telecom operators to combine information and models with data on some place where both of those elements of the system could exist. Yeah, because advertisers do not let mobile operators to share models, and vice versa. Telecom operators do not want to share their data. So we're lacking a kind of trustfulness platform. As for the maybe kind of future prospects, we all are living in already 2 years of existing large language models that can talk to the customers, that can collaborate, that can work as agents. And it looks like the industry of advertising is still lacking these technologies. So I'm looking forward to hearing large number of different projects, different mechanics that will involve large language models in a broader, much broader way. So this is also kind of trend that will happen recently.
Okay, thank you. Igor?
I think the major thing is to understand the value that you bring to the enterprise client and actually maximize it. And what we mean by that is we must understand that the client is not buying SMS. It's not buying like voice or connectivity or something. They're buying the way to authenticate the user and make sure that the usage of the application is secure. They buy the opportunity to reach out to customer in a channel that is familiar with them. And we must be ready to adjust our product to make sure that it's easier for enterprise to use them, and to understand the fact that they are not experts in our field and they will not be. And if they can, for example, have someone not so qualified still use our service to the full extent, that means that we know our job and our product is actually achieving all those goals. And another aspect is when the enterprises are relying on us, they also rely on us in terms of security. Countering AIT, countering other dangers of telecom markets is still on our shoulders, and we have to make sure that we have the technology, and we actually educate the customers as for not only the financial aspects of the things they buy, not only the value we bring, but also how we protect against those dangers and how they can rely on us when choosing amongst the alternatives.
So, tell us how. How do we protect them?
Be better than the fraudsters is an easy one. And sadly, the fraudsters are getting better. They're using more and more sophisticated technologies. But we are investing a lot in our AI unit in Lanck Telecom. Now we have more than 8 PhDs in statistics analytics to define the parameters that AI is looking at. We're now analyzing over 200 parameters of voice traffic. We're analyzing a double-digit amount of parameters in SMS traffic to make sure that our AI is recognizing the patterns that are peculiar to fraud scenarios, and our reaction is swift and very, very accurate, not affected legal traffic.
And does your end customer see the benefit of it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I can openly say, because it's now on our website, we're saving our customers more than $6 million a month.
Give me half. Give me half of it. Okay, so artificial traffic. So we should, let's say, forbid, it's never possible, the prepaid deals. Because if you cannot make your commitment, then the traffic bumps in, right?
Yeah, this is the AIT is actually very, very dependent on exclusive deals. I mean, this is where the rising prices meet the lack of defense, and sadly, the demand from some market members to have those things in place. And when there's an opportunity to have a higher commitment met, sometimes with some questionable strategies. Sadly, some operators would accept that, and we work on having the technology widely available to counter that in real time, because we understand it's like when Elon Musk made his announcement. I think it was December 2022 when he announced that.
Who's that guy?
Elon someone?
Elon something?
Yeah.
Oh, who's the guy?
Anyway, some guy from South Africa. He mentioned the figure that his company, just one of his companies, is losing per year, and the market response was there, and it still is there, and we're kind of reaping the consequences from that thing. The good thing is we have the technology to counter that, and there are market forces that can make sure that these things are at least capped to a minimum. And we can provide a lot of value still through SMS and other operator channels.
So, Fabrizio, how many people do you? I mean, you have a huge team and a huge company, and support every technological developments which are out there. But how challenged are they actually? You know, I want to go a bit more deeper on not only on the fraud side and the security side, but really to counter it. And how can technological developments support it more? Maybe a day-to-day example you have?
Yes. Look, you said how we could even benefit or bring benefit to enterprises, right? So we build planes. And to fly a machine, to fly a plane, you need a pilot. So that's the first thing. You have to teach.
Two, actually.
For redundancy. So at the end, you have the pilot needs to know how to fly this machine. What I want to say is our industry has to learn how to play the orchestra of new channels coming. Because I see there is a lot of lack in knowledge, seeing, that, let's say, the rich channels are like, the normal transaction. Business, and this is not the case. So if we want to help the enterprises, I think we should first know what we can do with it, and not just to sell just any other new channel. So to find the right wording, the right language, even the right business model, what we can teach the enterprises what they can do. Because very often we just give the enterprise, hey, look, this is an account, this is the SMS price, do whatever you want, or this price, that price. That's not enough, because, I mean, look, RCS did not take off. Why? Because at the end, you cannot just leave the brand, with a new channel and then hoping, that he will generate something. You have to teach them, you have to give inspiration. What can you do? New business cases. And there is a lot to do in our industry. And this will be really a tectonic shift in how, if we want to succeed in this market, how this industry will take its share. Otherwise, it will be just taken over by the creatives. Because as I said, this is color TV, so creativity is something what matters a lot. So that's how we can make the enterprise successful, by teaching ourselves what are the use cases.
Okay. Ilya, you want to jump in? Can you add something to it?
I guess it's really hard for enterprises to learn, because three main points. So people who are working inside may be not so motivated. This is just the human factor. When you're working in the enterprise, everything changes when you're working for yourself. Yeah. Secondary, they don't have the global vision. They can find some single nice working patterns and strategies for their segment of business. And that's not always the case, because if you have information and statistical results from different campaigns in different regions, with different channels, with different segments of business, you see the global picture. We see the global picture, they don't. So the case is not about kind of teaching them, but just bringing them the best recipes. Yeah, this is the first point. The best recipes in terms of how should we build the communication strategies, which channels should we use. because different customers prefer different channels. That's obvious. They prefer different communication time. They prefer different language that we should use to communicate with them. Yeah, and if we have the global vision, we can do it better than the single enterprise. And finally, so if we have all these sources of data, if we have this information, and we're living at the age of kind of advanced artificial intelligence, we can try to automatize it. Yeah, we can build the really large learning platform that will lead to utilizing the best channels in the best way, in the most efficient kind of strategy. Yeah, and from my point of view, we should all invest in larger artificial intelligence methods, because people really, they don't like to learn. They like to have a nice big button, earn money. Yeah, and if we can bring artificial intelligence that will work for them, if we will take the risks for the channel communication, so we'll say, okay, we will pay for all the messages that are being sent, and this would be the most efficient strategy. I guess this is the best recipe for everyone.
May I challenge this?
Yes, exactly. I was about to say, Ilya, I'm happy to challenge this and be a bit disruptive here. So, you want to jump in?
Yeah, may I? So, imagine you talk with a marketing manager of Coca-Cola, boss of what? 4 billion clients, you know? You can be sure that he knows exactly how to talk with this audience. So now my question is, what you want to teach him how he has to talk with his audience? Because it's not only analytics. Marketing is a lot of creativity, branding, imaging, and you're just talking about one aspect, you know, to teach him what? Based on what? On data? Okay, that's the analytic part. But what is the creative part? Where in the creativity, in the branding, in the imaging, is AI helping? You know, so and you know, to analyze which channel to use. Well, if there is nobody in this channel, then I don't think Coca-Cola is happy to do something there. So it's not only you know, channel is to choose the channel is not what we have to dictate. You know, the audience will select the channel they want to be. So how artificial intelligence will help now in the creativity process, how to use this channel using AI. So this, I don't get it.
I see the point of analyzing the data.
Yeah, but that's nothing new. Now it's just AI, but this is a machine learning.
But for the guy of Coca-Cola, he doesn't give it.
Yeah, but you know,
about it, he just wants a service, right?
Yeah, but you know, analyzing marketing data. Look, listen, they did this in the 50s, in the 40s already. Okay, now it's just more modern. Well, now we use artificial intelligence.
30 years ago, you did marketing.
Yes.
So you know.
Yes. No, I mean, it's just, you know, just on steroids now with AI. And I'm not talking bad about it. Don't misunderstand me. But we use very often the latest only AI, like this is, you know, the penicillin for everything. You know, we can heal even everything with it. Well, I don't see it like that. You cannot heal everything, or it's not the solution for everything, because especially when you have new channels, you know, data is important, absolutely, but it's not everything. And teaching them based on data, well, I think you have to teach how to use this channel and what you can do with it. And this is not only coming together with the analysis of the data, what is there.
Okay. Igor?
I think I'm kind of, I mean, I would like to find a way to agree with both Ilya and Fabrizio here. If we could just, you know, shift some terms from teaching to educate, then, you know, it becomes a very, very different paradigm. And we must find the way to understand, we must find the way to interpret, and we must find the way to present the technology to the enterprises and to ending customer, to make it not only like available on the market, but also user-friendly. It's, you know, I have a digital watch from Apple here, but I still remember that, you know, even in the 80s, there were digital watches with digital screens on, but they just couldn't be sold because the Probably the salesmen weren't there and the market wasn't there and the demand consequently wasn't there for those. But when the all stars align and some 30, 40, 50 years passed, now we have digital watches utilized to the full extent. So what we must find is the proper message of proper wording for the value that we present for the market that would make them want to buy it. I mean, the 101 of sales, if you would like to sell something to someone, tell them why they need it, not what it is, not how it works, et cetera, but why they need it and the value they present.
But marketeers are only interested, what's the benefit, what's in there for me, right?
Yes, and in the topic what before, so because I really don't want to talk bad about AI, that was not the message, but you can analyze, or AI is only helpful when you have data. But if I never used WhatsApp as a channel, what data I have? 0. If I never use Telegram, what data I have? 0. So it's the chicken egg problem. You need to start with something. You have to teach. You have to really to tell the brands why to use it, how to use it. That you get a certain amount of sample probes of data that afterwards, absolutely sure you can. You can run AIs and maybe help out of it. But if you never use the channel, hardly to predict what you can get out of this, right? Igor, or tell me if I'm wrong.
And Ilya, bump in, and also the audience. If you have
Igor,
questions, guys, bump in.
I guess the example with Coca-Cola.
Sorry, Ilya. We have a comment question from Gene from BTS from the audience.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, Gene Pradas, BTS. A couple of things. First of all, one thing is to address customer needs. Another one is to create customer needs. Kind of different, all right? But I do agree with Fabrizio in the sense that AI, if you ask 5 different people what is AI, you'll get 5 different responses, all right? And AI basically, in general, is just an acceleration of a process. Right? It's not inventing anything new. It's just expediting the process of whatever that process is. All right? Whether it's data, instead of spending an hour looking at data, now you can spend 1 minute because it'll analyze the process of the information. So I think the question is, we can also learn from different industries. What one industry is applying. What's that?
We should.
Absolutely, because one industry may be applying certain features that another industry can take advantage of it. And the question is, how do you get that knowledge in there? I don't know if the word is teaching, but definitely exposure, I think would be the correct way. Just a few comments.
Well, probably. Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, Ilya, you were saying, bump in here, please.
I guess I have a nice analogy for the previous speaker. We can say that the car or the plane is just a kind of evolution of the horse, because the car is quicker, and we all prefer cars in comparison with horses and chariots, but they require different infrastructure and they give us different benefits. New businesses, campings, for instance, motels begin to exist after the cars appeared, and the same happens with AI. It really accelerates many things, but given these opportunities, our ways to communicate with people change. We can do it more smartly. We can spend much more time. We can give a personal manager to each customer that will pick the most interesting things for him and talk to him and understand him. We never could do this before. So it's not just the acceleration, it's new mechanisms that we adopt and we should adopt and that we require to use. This some reference to the previous speaker. As for the idea with Coca-Cola, so generally, Fabrizio is totally right. Coca-Cola is an enormous company that can do everything itself. But there are millions of smaller, much smaller companies, even big enough. For instance, kind of developer that is building some house in the center of the city, he needs clients for his for this building, for his flats, yeah, and he doesn't want to spend large budgets. He just needs clients, and here we can really help him because we, in this case, we really have the global vision. Yeah, I agree. It's hard to compete with Coca-Cola. It's just too huge. But if we're talking about some smaller businesses, there are lots of places where we can help with this expertise and with this data. And right now we are aggregating this data. We see how different channels, how different communication strategies work. If we have similar clients that were already helped by our system, why we cannot add one more? This will most likely be the best solution for him and for us. Yeah, it really works in our business.
You know, evolution is there for sure. I mean, nobody is putting that in question. And I'm also really not talking, I don't want to downsize the possibility and capability of AI. But let's say, let's put away how cool this technology is and how much in the future it can do. Let's make a snapshot of today. You know, so the knowledge of the market today, the problems they have today, where the marketing budgets go today. I believe that not us, which we are daily in this, you know, in this industry, but the other 99.99% out there in the market. A big challenge is that they are simply overwhelmed with these new technologies, and even worse at the speed of it, because AI overnight was so disruptive, right? And you know, the market is there. They just, you know, were used in the last 2-3 years with Instagram. Then all of a sudden TikTok appear, and they are like sucking all the attention on the marketing budgets. And now comes AI, and what shall I do with it? You see, I think the most are clueless. Let's be honest. They don't even know, Ilya, what maybe you are talking about, because it's a really complex thing. I'm not saying this is bad. I just say this is not easy, and then to convince them, you know, to do it. The more complex something is, the less you have temptation. Well, you know what? Then might be I stay another half a year on Instagram and just put my advertisement there. So I think this is a big challenge, you know, and that's what I was also referring to, that we have to teach, that we have to be really like on a mission, like priests on a mission, to explain what are the opportunities, to make them, you know, from not seeing, you know, from being blind, to let them see, you know, to bring them, to enlighten them what all is possible with this technology. Because the smart marketing guy, let's say the Coca-Cola guy, just to make an extreme example, when he knows what tool he has, he knows how to adapt this to his audience. And his audience is not Pepsi, it's Coca-Cola, you know. And Pepsi will maybe for sure do completely other way how we will approach his audience. So I don't think we have to teach them how to
do their job.
To do their job, but what instruments and inspiration and possibilities he can get. But, you know, in, let's say, not heavy doses, but in slight doses, because I think it's just a step too much for the normal, general, average marketeer at the moment.
But still, we need to tell them, listen, these are the possibilities that we can provide you, and you could, and this could be, let's say, one of the benefits you can get out of it.
So and we are in the teaching process then.
Exactly. And then the strategy, that's fully controlled by the marketeer, because we don't have to tell a marketeer how to do his job. I mean, you've been a marketeer.
That's the message. That's the message at the end, yes.
Igor?
Yeah, and one of the ways to put it is to address the issue that you have and put some numbers that would matter to an enterprise. For example, we see a very large amount of brands, because of AIT, because of artificial inflation of traffic, moving away from SMS to other alternatives when they are unaware if AIT even exists. Instead, we could, who knows what would Elon Musk do if he would have known in December 22 when he made this announcement that there is an AI solution that can counter AIT. Maybe they would stay in SMS and just give them the data that our AI has detected that 30, 40, 50, 65% of the SMS that you've sent and spent this amount on were generated by AIT. However, we have a wonderful AI-based system that can counter that with a very, very high accuracy, and we make this problem go away. And that's the decision process, and this is exactly how perhaps we should actually sell it. I mean, provide them with numbers, provide them with outcomes, provide them with the actual effect that would mean to them. And it doesn't have to be concentration on the product. It must be the concentration on the needs that is covered.
Coming back again, understanding the needs really well. Nick, thank you.
Squared. I've got a question for our panelists. We've looked at AI from an enterprise perspective, but if AI was to replace all of the mobile operator personnel in their messaging divisions, what would, in an AI world without operator people, what would messaging look like, do you think? How would AI do it differently compared to the people running messaging in operators?
It does things a lot more different. I mean, in our system, the AI-based system that we provide to our customers, there is an opportunity to rely on the automatic system, and there is an opportunity to introduce manual things. And the percentage of accuracy and the manual rules and the manual kind of decisions that the clients make, the percentage of errors is very, very high, sadly. And even if the call is made right, sometimes the person would rely on something primitive that could be done within a millisecond or a second, like block A number or block B number, block this range, block this destination, et cetera, or kind of introduce some measure to counter some fraud attack that happened, for example, today, and then the person leaves, then the person gets sick, then the person does whatever, or just forgets about the rule that was put or some blockage that was put. Well, the AI makes sure that you can, for example, limit the blockage in the time. You can make sure that it's a little more subtle than just blocking A or B number, and you can make sure that the AI will consider hundreds of parameters instead of just 5 or 6 that a human can concentrate on. So
with AI,
I agree with Igor.
Yes, please, Ilya.
Similar numbers. We compared, so suppose you have the same messaging system and the same opportunities for the machine and for the human. Yeah, so you can build multi-step communication scenarios. You can use different mechanics inside. Yeah, so lots of functionality, and we really have it. So suppose we have a manager that writes kind of manual rules. So I want to pick this customer if yeah, and do the following steps. And we have the same picker done by the machine. So rules are kind of too strong. Yeah, they lack accuracy, and we get improvement something from 20 to 50% of income if we do these rules with machine. It really earns more money, and this is the statistics that we observe in our clients.
Nick, you have a follow-up question for sure.
Would AI, what impact on pricing would AI have then, on like international termination rates? Because surely AI could see immediately if there's a dip or an increase in a rate, and then it could adjust it. Whereas I guess a lot of humans just sit there putting the prices up.
Not only that, AI can have an impact on the routing practices that you do. It's not only countering fraud, it's not only that, but you can also use AI to actually make sure that you provide the right kind of combination of price and quality. If you have that in hand, the AI could be doing a very, very accurate, very, very fast job, depending on the industry and the environment that is very, very fast to change. And this is one of the opportunities. So dynamic routing is one of the applications of AI in our company, for example.
Does it answer your question fully?
But Nick, you are, because I'm not sure if I understand your question. This was a philosophic thinking game, right? So all operators will fire all the people, and the whole operator is run by artificial intelligence. This was what you were heading with your question.
It's a kind of dystopian world. So yeah,
Okay.
alternative world. Just see what would happen.
I guess we need to get there because lots of industries may be will change pretty severely, starting from just cars and ending with, for instance, lawyers and people who are counting your taxes. Yeah, because lots of things can be automated by AI, but the profession will change not so quickly. Yeah, because people are a bit afraid of this process, and we still don't understand where is the best application. So we can replace the human in many places, but it looks like we can rebuild the whole process, but we still are not there. We're just moving there, and I guess it will take something like half of a decade to understand how we can rebuild the entire process with AI.
So what do we tell their families? What do they tell their families? Honey, I'm out of job?
I guess their job will change. They will focus on different blocks. For instance, they will not build heuristics how to pick the customer, but they will think more about the entire process as a whole. That's the good future. The bad future, yeah, we will have to look for Academy to build more robots, and all of us.
So Nick, I really like your question, you know. But to be honest, this is so philosophic. I never thought about it. I would not be able to give you any answer on that. But might be we have time today with the gin tonic and the beer. We will find a solution. You know, we need some brainstorming. But I really like it. But I cannot contribute nothing in it because it's a really extreme thinking example.
No,
I'm clueless. You know what this would mean. To be honest, that's an honest answer, right?
Let's be honest. Nobody knows. Coming to the last point actually of this panel, because we need to look at the time, and I know that people want to go for lunch in not too long from now. Closing statements. Ilya, from your side, what can we expect? What should we look out for? What are, let's say, some technological innovations which are coming or are in the footsteps of our doors? What's out there? What's there to come?
So I've already, we were talking about it for 40 minutes. I guess we will have the significant impact of artificial tools inside the classical communication process, and it will increase and become quicker and quicker. And most likely we will have a kind of market reconstruction, because early adopters that will take this technology at the very, very beginning will have a pretty large uplift in comparison with the more traditional businesses. Yeah, so we will have a kind of shift and the change of players inside the market. This is my vision.
Okay, thank you. Igor?
I think staying strong, staying valuable, and staying competitive would be very, very important. Keeping your ears and eyes open to make sure that you see the change and sometimes you lead it. And obviously continue not only to educate your clients and your partners, but also to educate yourself. You know, there's a saying, I think it's in Tampa, Florida, I saw it on a boardwalk there, that says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And I think this is a wonderful thing to go by throughout all your life and what you do. So yeah, that's the words to live by.
Okay, closing statement. Fabrizio, what should we look out for?
So a lot of innovation will come, being on the good side, being on the less good side, being even on the very bad side. Innovation is there. New technologies are coming. I just think that the pace of this new technology is super fast. You know, we are like in a turbo mode that it's hard to swallow, you know, out there. So I don't know how fast all these new developments will really be big in the market. I think it will be a slower pace than we think. Remember RCS 5 years ago? Tomorrow it's there. It's still not. I think everything goes a little bit slower than we wish, but definitely for our industry, all those new technology trends are for sure good. If we can protect our channels and leave the bad out of this game, then we will have a prosperous future.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome.
And with these famous words, I would like to thank, first of all, the audience. Gene and Nick, thank you so much for your participation and your questions, so comments. Thank you so much for that. I would like to thank, of course, you, Ilya, for joining us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Igor, as always, thank you. And Fabrizio. And Fabrizio, I think you will moderate a panel session after lunch. Yes. So when people ate already, so it's easier to digest, right? Exactly, yes. Okay, so that helps. So, and I'll be back later on this afternoon talking about RCS with Nick as well, I guess, right? What is RCS, by the way? No clue, huh? No, me neither. Anyway, we're going to talk you through, and we'll let you know. And trust me, once you're out of those sessions, you know more. And this is why we do it. We do it for you. And so thank you so much for being here, staying with us. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy the coming 2-3 days here at GCCM from Carrier Community. And with that, thank you so much.
Thank you.